The Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, operates a network of prisons and facilities across the United States, including 122 prisons. These institutions are categorized into different security levels to house offenders appropriately. The BOP also manages 6 regional offices, a headquarters, 2 staff training centers, and 22 residential reentry management offices. Federal prisons are located in many states across the United States. Some of the states that have federal prisons include Alabama, Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin.
Crooked cops refers to police officers who engage in illegal or unethical behavior, often for personal gain. This can include accepting bribes, using their position for personal advantage, or abusing their authority. Police corruption can take many forms, such as theft, bribery, extortion, and perjury, and can undermine public trust in law enforcement.
Locally, statewide, and even nationally, that sometimes our citizenry doesn't trust us. And I acknowledge that and recognize that we are not without sin. I know that. And I would just like to think that the person that might know about this maybe doesn't trust us and doesn't want to tell us. Maybe they don't think we can protect them. Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. And we've got to work to regain that community's trust. These community trust, and I think we're getting there. That's not $1 million question, that's $1 billion question. And I'd give my life to be able to answer it.
Why do people break the law? Wouldn't they be happier if they didn't? Typically, people who break the law are impatient and looking for a shortcut. The quickest way to make $1 million is probably to steal it. The unfortunate part is that it will eventually be recovered and you will go to prison. People have been breaking the law since it has existed. And that is why we need more education on what is legal and illegal. A person who is ignorant about the law is in more trouble than someone who is educated in it. I believe that before people turn 18, they should at least be educated about state and federal laws, so that they do not fall into error as they become an adult.
At 5, a Kenosha police officer planted evidence in a drug case. Did this make a difference for that defendant's sentence? Sentencing for that individual just finished.
And he didn't ask for charges to be dismissed, and now he's headed to prison. Tom Murray has our big story at 5. Tom?
At Charles and Carol, I just spoke with both the district attorney and the defendant's own attorney. Both say that the evidence planted by a then Kenosha police officer had no impact on the sentence handed down today. 20-year-old Marquise Tibbs sentenced to 16 years in prison for his role in a drug deal ambush. A friend of Tibbs killed the suspected seller.
I want to apologize to the victim's family for everything that they're going through today.
Kenosha police officer Kyle Bars resigned, admitting to planting a driver's license belonging to Tibbs in a backpack and a bullet at a crime scene. The judge did not mention the evidence plant when she handed down her sentence.
It was a drug deal gone bad, and the bad part, besides the very subject of it, was that Mr. Edwards ended up dead.
The district attorney says there was enough evidence to convict Tibbs despite the former officer's actions.
That the planting itself had no significant impact on the decisions that were being made in terms of prosecution or the ultimate conviction.
After testimony earlier this summer on the planted evidence, Tibbs still decided to plead guilty.
I think he accepted responsibility. He wanted to accept responsibility for what he did, and he did accept responsibility.
Now, the former officer is criminally charged, and his case is still making its way through the system. He is due back in court next month. Live at the Kenosha County Courthouse, Tom Murray, today's TMJ4.
Interesting day in court. All right, Tom, thanks.
The former police chief and city administrator of Velda City, Missouri, was accused in an indictment Wednesday of fraudulently obtaining $313,420 in city funds through a series of fraudulent transactions. Daniel Paulino, 51, was indicted in U.S. District Court in St. Louis with 3 counts of wire fraud. The indictment says Paulino used the city's credit card to make about 828 charges for his personal expenses, totaling about $145,428. The indictment says Paulino used the city credit card on about 17 additional occasions to transfer Velda City funds totaling about $43,870 to a business he owned, R&B Towing, and one owned by his spouse, Renovations STL. The city funds were ultimately transferred to either Paulino's personal bank account or the account for another company he owned, D&H Towing, the indictment says. Paulino caused about 8 city checks to be issued in a total amount of about $34,374 to pay third-party vendors for his personal expenses, the indictment says. One $25,500 city check was used to pay for a 2007 International tow truck that was then registered in Paulino's name and used by Paulino's privately owned towing company, the indictment says. Paulino caused Automated Clearinghouse, ACH, transactions to be made from a city account to pay third-party vendors for $12,575 in personal expenses, the indictment says. Paulino also caused about 20 direct deposits totaling $30,667 in city funds, purportedly for additional payroll, into his personal account, the indictment says. He caused about 55 direct deposits of a total of about $54,693 in Velda City funds, purportedly for his spouse's payroll, to be sent to his personal bank account, the indictment says. Paulino's spouse was being paid for work that was not actually performed in the city's Public Works Division during the years 2021 through 2023, and Paulino used that money for his own personal expenses, the indictment says. The indictment also alleges that Paulino caused 3 city checks totaling $1,800 to be fraudulently issued to him. The money was transferred without the authority or knowledge of the city, its mayor, treasurer, or board of aldermen, the indictment says. Paulino used the money for travel, automobiles, pool supplies, utilities at his personal residence, and food and beverage charges, the indictment says. During the scheme, Paulino transferred about $58,171 from his personal or business bank accounts to Velda City's bank account or the city's credit card to conceal his crimes, the indictment says. Paulino was appointed to the city administrator position in 2021. He was police chief until the department was dissolved in 2024. Charges set forth in an indictment are merely accusations and do not constitute proof of guilt. Every defendant is presumed to be innocent unless and until proven guilty. The FBI investigated the case. Assistant U.S. Attorney Hal Goldsmith is prosecuting the case. Crooked cops refers to police officers who engage in corrupt or illegal activities, violating their oath and the trust placed in them. This can include accepting bribes, stealing from the public, engaging in illegal activities like planting drugs or engaging in violence or using their authority for personal gain.